What's going on, everybody? Rest in Peaches here with a brand new video, and today we're going to be going over a build guide and tips, tricks for playing with Titania, the newest frame in Warframe. I know it took me a while to put this one out, but because of the way I was doing my frame by frames, which is alphabetically, people seem to just like specific frames better, so I'm going to be focusing on frames that are played a little bit more. Now for this build, I'm going to be using the Dual Commas Prime with a Blood Rush Body Count Weeping Wounds combo, so the longer you're hitting stuff, the higher you're building your status and your crit. I'm going to be using the Tigris Prime with 100% status chance because the Dex Pixie are status weapons, so that 100% status chance with Corrosion and Blast is actually going to be removing armor and knocking down enemies. As far as the build goes, it's super straightforward. None of the corrupted mods are needed for this. It's actually what I would call a budget build, one forma. And pretty much it's everything you need. So Growing Power is going to be giving us a 25% status buff with the activation of anything status. So if you shoot something with the Tigris and then go into Razor Wing, you're actually going to be at 175 or 170 power strength. But other than that, Power Drift, pretty easily obtainable. Primed Flow, if you don't have Primed Flow, you can use regular Flow. Same with the Prime Continuity. Quick Thinking for survivability, Stretch, Constitution, and Intensify. So everything's positive. We're going no negatives on Titania because I feel like all of her abilities are useful except for her second ability. But let's take a look at, Titania in action. So you can see here the Dex Pixie, we're about, 35 minutes into a Draco survival. I just joined a random lobby to see how far I could go in. Now the build I'm using in the video is actually a little bit different than the build I just showed off. The build I just showed off is much better than this build, but even with like a little bit worse of a build, she's still very viable in late game. We actually went 131 minutes the other day in a T4 on MOT, MOT on the Void, and my buddy brought his Titania, and he had no problems with going that far, especially with the enemies having reduced, accuracy while trying to shoot Titania. So she has a high survivability rate. You can just see she's shredding these dudes like no issue. The Corrosive is proccing. The Blast is proccing, and the Blast proc is actually super helpful with her because it'll knock him down. You see right there, it knocked him down. It kind of takes him out of combat for a second, and then the Corrosive proc obviously is going to be taking all their armor off. But yeah, she's super fun. She's super useful. You can bring her into late game, like the way she scales, if you do her build properly, which would be, a little bit more duration, and so that you can actually lantern groups and groups of enemies. So duration and range, and lantern will actually be taking large groups of enemies out of the combat. But thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. This is Rest in Peaches. If you like the video, subscribe, like the video, comment down below if you want to see anything else. But as for me, have a great day.